face at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying?
And while they were here, they always wore masks.
Look, I don't care what misinformation or conspiracy theories that you have heard. Just get the damn vaccine.
My thoughts on canceling Joe Rogan and his podcast. What is this doing on a Taekwondo channel? Well, Joe Rogan does have a black belt in Taekwondo, and he was also the U.S. Open Taekwondo champion. I forget the years. In addition to that, Joe Rogan also has cross-trained and gotten black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, from a martial arts standpoint, that's very relevant. Now, from my ethnicity standpoint, I guess you could say he's relevant because he said something that's offensive to my ethnic group. I'm African American, and they took it, and they took all the times that he said the offensive thing and put it into one big, huge compilation that probably would have been okay if he were rapping over a beat. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, what do I think about canceling his podcast? I think that if you don't like what Joe Rogan has to say, then just don't listen to him, because that's what I do. I've listened to the Joe Rogan podcast off and on for years. When he gets too far out in the twilight zone for me, I just stop listening to it. You can too. Why is it so popular? Because people keep feeding it. You don't need to make anybody cancel anything. If you don't like what he's saying, don't support him. We don't need cancel culture. We need to stop canceling people. The best way, in my opinion, to cancel people is to stop giving them your attention. If they say something foolish, just don't listen to it. Now, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says about the pandemic. When he started doing that, as soon as I started saying, you know what, I know I disagree with Joe on a lot of stuff, especially, when it comes to how he hates Taekwondo now and MMA is better than everything because MMA is just the king of everything, right? It's like, I'm going to let myself get stretched and out of my comfort zone. I'll listen to him. And when he started going into the stuff, the misinformation, in my opinion, about the vaccines and COVID, I stopped listening to it because I feel like, no, I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to give it my energy. I'm not going to give it my time. Why can't we do that with things that we don't like? We need to just stop listening to it. I don't have small kids anymore. If I had small children, I wouldn't let them listen to them. And I can do that if I'm their parent. That's what we need to do. This whole, we're just going to, make a big production out of it. We're going to try to get everybody fired and this and that. I'm telling you, the best way to stop opinions that you know are harmful is to not support them. Or you can put out your own counter opinion and combat it that way. That's what I think we need to do. Those of us who we feel, have a better view or different view, put it out there, have your views compete against their views. There's a lot of stuff I don't agree with Joe Rogan on. I'm not a big advocate of marijuana. He is. I'm not totally anti-Taekwondo. He's 90% Taekwondo because he put his kicks up in the video and he's still got some good kicks. So he just, the thing I've said about him with Taekwondo in the past is, while I disagree with where he arrived with it, I respect him for taking that step, taking that journey. And, as far as him on the N-word, I heard the mashup, and then I listened to some stuff beyond the mashup, and some of the stuff he said was racist. And he's owning up to it. But guess what I can do? I can say, I'm not going to listen to him. I'm not going to listen to his podcast. At this point, he's still funny. The last stand-up I saw from Joe Rogan was funny. So I guess I'm down to just listening to Joe Rogan stand-up if I listen to anything, because I disagree with him on his martial arts stances, even though I respect the fact that he decided to go outside of his bubble. I don't agree with him on COVID. And so if he's going to be talking about that on his podcast, I'm not going to feed that. At this point, if I listen to anything of him, it might be a stand-up. It might not. because he could go so far in his other directions that I think, and that's probably going to start infecting his stand-up, and I may not listen to that. So, unfortunately, that's the downside of freedom of speech. That means we have to put up with a lot of speech that people are free to just ruin, for lack of a better term. Now, you know who I think should be angry? Now, there are musicians, the musicians that are deciding to pull their material from Spotify. Yeah, I can see why they do that. And one of them, I believe it was India Irie, but please don't quote me on that. I think it was her. She was saying, like, you know, they built this platform on us, and then they turn around and then they pay this other guy all this money, and we still get these low royalties. Yeah, that would make me angry too. And if they want to yank their music because of that, that's legitimate. So if that's what they want to do, go ahead and do it. So what's my list now? Freddie Lee, Sergeant Willie Pete, Tommy Sotomayor, Kevin Samuels. Who else? There's a bunch of people that pop up on YouTube, pop up on the internet. They say things that make people angry, make people mad. They may not necessarily be 100% wrong, but it's still controversial. Oh, yeah, that guy Trifling and Monkey, that's another one. I guess to a degree, Aaron Clary. But these people, they say these things, and they make people angry. Oh, Donovan Sharp, that's another one. And I'm just like, if you feel like they're going too far off the edge, if you don't like them, don't watch them. Or put your views out there. That's what I'm doing. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share with people like to talk about the martial arts. And peace. Oh, and one more thing on the martial arts note that I want to close. I guess you could say Joe Rogan broke the Taekwondo tenet of courtesy. And he's saying things that may not be of Judo's principle of mutual welfare and benefit. Peace.